All right, welcome back. So this is all dry now. Woo, that's nice. Nice and dry. I'm going to do a couple of things pretty quickly to this. One is I want to add some warmth. Let me get my picture back up. There's my photograph. Let me let you guys see that maybe up close. Does that help? Can you see that? Yeah? Okay, beautiful, eh? Beautiful day. Now I want to add some warmth to this. But I don't want it to turn terribly green, so instead of using yellow, I'm going to use orange. Orange in the sky, down here near the horizon, and some yellow, because there actually is some green grassy type stuff down here. So I'll let that turn into a green. And while we're doing stuff, let's pick up a little magenta. That's kind of a pinkish, slightly purplish red. That's more than I want, so hang on. Pick up a dry brush. But that gets us in the ballpark of the color of the sky that night. I'm really tickled that in this photograph. Did we get rained on that night?
Yes, it did rain for a while.
Just a little while, though, right? We all had pavilions to go under while we were eating, so I didn't get wet, but maybe other people did. Yeah, that's right. There, but the fun part is the nice part about this particular job, this particular painting, is the photographs that I have. I don't have to do a lot of inventing. That is to say, I'm quite happy with the photograph the way it is. I don't have to do all kinds of inventive creativity, which is a really nice situation to be in. So in a sense, I just have to faithfully copy, and of course, the word copy is in quotation marks, right? It's not copy, but I just have to accurately reflect what was actually there. Okay, now, that is all, of course, everything on there is soaking wet. But I can go ahead and start doing some white stuff. So big change here, big change in gears, change in direction by doing white. And of course, my white is going to be contaminated. So if you ever do this, don't pretend that the white paint you're putting on is not contaminated. I find students occasionally, sort of doing what I tell them, but pretending that what's happening on the canvas, they're pretending that it's not happening. In other words, I know that my brushes are going to pick up the colors that I just put down. And that's fine as long as I work with it, make it work. Don't pretend that your brushes aren't picking up that color. And then it'll probably be all right. Oh, you know what? There's some bushes right down there. I haven't indicated yet. I'll come back and do that in a little bit. If you were with me in the last episode, you saw me do some quick drawing with pencils. Now, if you do that, here's one of the pitfalls you need to watch out for. I call it the coloring book syndrome. Once you put lines on your painting, you're going to be gravely tempted to, quote-unquote, color in the lines, thus the coloring book syndrome. So, so you have to fight against that. Like I put those lines down, but now I am almost, I could say, being careful not to be too careful. I'm being careful not to restrict myself to the lines that I drew a while ago. That would be a huge mistake because you would end up with a painting that would be entirely, in fact, what I just put on there is just a little bit too neat. So there we go. That was an easy fix, wasn't it? Let me make those a little bit messier there. Okay, so what else is light? Of course, the sky is light. Also, there's some like street light kind of things, you know, things lighting, and of course the bride is light because she's wearing a white dress. So let's make the bride here. There we go. Does that look like you, Mel? There's Jeremy and the best man and a preacher hiding behind Jeremy. And now, in reality, there's not a path, but it seems like there should have been. So I'm making that part up. Seems like there should be a path that goes that way. Now, let's do some of the water down here is reflected, is very light. So let's do that, a little bit of that. And then I'm ready to go to some slightly larger brushes. But you know, acrylics, you can't leave paint on your acrylics. Did I say it right? No, you can't leave acrylic paint on your brushes for even 5 minutes. I hope you know that. And also, you can't leave your brushes sitting in water. It's one of the worst things in the world for brushes to be sitting in water. And evidently, a lot of people don't know that because I see it happening in my classes all the time. No, it swells the wood, stretches the ferrule, and ruins the brushes. So do not leave your brushes sitting in water. Now, I'm thinking about the light in the sky interacting. You see how it's picking up? That is not white, right? Because the stuff that's underneath there is picking up, but it's quite a pleasant color as long as I don't overdo it. Just let it be what it is. Let me zoom you in here just for a second, see how well you can see this. I'm going to move you a little bit, which is kind of dangerous. Okay. Can you see this area right here? See those streaks? That was the very first layer that I put down, right? Now I've just covered it up. Those are quotation marks, air quotes. I've just covered it up with white. But have I covered it up? The answer is no, not completely, right? And that not completely is a very important caveat or distinction. You can still see it. And in my mind, that's very important because I like that energy that I put down at first. And even though I'm pushing it back somewhat, I'm not grumpily hiding it. I'm letting it continue to show through. And here again, I am looking at my photograph repeatedly, looking at the clouds, instead of just painting clouds out of my head. And by the way, I'm very capable of painting clouds out of my head, but I don't want to do that because I've got a picture of clouds right in front of me. Why not take advantage of the moment to get better at painting clouds instead of worse? Why not take advantage of the moment to charge up my battery instead of run down my battery? Painting out of your head is your battery is running down. Looking at reference is battery being charged up. You can already see a little bit of cloud formation starting to happen there. I'm doing something a little unusual right now. I'm actually dipping my brushes in yellow and phthalo blue to create a green, which I'm going to go ahead and apply. The unusual part is doing opaque. Most of my acrylic layers are transparent, except for the white. But here, I'm doing an opaque green, just a shortcut. Okay, I'm going to pause right there and be back in just a few minutes. Going to give this a few minutes to dry. Thanks for watching.